Hey, Parker here, and it's about time. The Oscars just premiered last night, and I still haven't made my list of favorite movies of 2017. So I've made a list, and we're going to talk about that. Hooray! But first, before we get started, the worst movie of the year and the most disappointing was The Mummy. Had such potential. I love Tom Cruise. I love The Mummy, but it just didn't work out. I don't know what I still can't figure it out. I only watched it once. There is a cameo from the Golden Book of Death or Book of Life from the original Mummy trilogy, and that I loved. That was fantastic. Mwah. So thank you for that. But man, it was just soulless, and it just I don't know. It just lacked any passion and soul that the first one had with Brendan Fraser. So super disappointed. That's okay though. Now let's get on to the good list, and this is in no particular order except for number one. I did have an absolute favorite, but everything else, they were all really good too. So Get Out. Not really much of a horror guy, but the premise intrigued me, and when I actually got to the movie, the more and more the movie went on, the more and more intriguing it was, and then the ending is just like absolutely mind-blowing. Yeah, Get Out, super original. It won Best Original Screenplay, so that's fantastic. Congratulations. Yeah, fantastic movie. Not necessarily recommend it for anyone. It is rated R, so keep that in mind, but it's just wholly unique. It is one of a kind, and it's thrilling, and I recommend it for sure.
If there's too many white people, I get nervous.
Also rated R for scary stuff. Not much of a horror fan, but this just more the premise of the Ragtag group of outcast middle school kids really resonates with me. I was never really an outcast, but I kind of like stayed away from most people, and even though it's an 80s movie, it kind of felt like nostalgic for it, which is weird because I didn't exist then. But also the premise of a killer clown is kind of exciting, and that was a lot of fun. It was perfectly cast. There were some things I didn't like about it. I mean, it is rated R, so there's a lot of language, and I was like, get to the story. Stop wasting my time. But really, really good. I also do recommend that, especially if you're a horror fan, haven't seen it yet. Why not?
Till it's too late.
The Last Jedi. So, and oh, by the way, most of these movies, actually all three of these movies I watched with my friend Slade. So that's fun. Movies are always more fun with friends. The Last Jedi, I don't hate Star Wars at all. I'm just not necessarily a fan. I have all the movies, but I've only seen them like a handful of times every here and there. Last Jedi, though, I want to say is probably my favorite out of all of them. I really liked Episode 3. I really liked Rogue One, the one last year. But other than that, like, all the other movies are just fine. And that's totally cool. And wow, I'm looking at myself and I look exhausted, and that's because I am exhausted. So I'm sorry about that. I'm tired all the time. I'm perpetually tired. But yeah, The Last Jedi was a really good time. After I watched the movie and after I got into these discussions about all these plot holes and other errors and things like that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. But see, the thing is I didn't notice any of those, and the few weird things that I did notice didn't bother me anyways. Especially the part where at the very end turns the spaceship around and like light speed blasts the bad guys. That was one of the most original things I've ever seen in a movie ever in my whole life. And that's just, watching that movie just for that scene alone, just for that like 30-second clip alone is worth it.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
The Big Sick, based off of a true story, written and directed and starring by the guy who the story is actually based off of. Super funny guy. I do recommend it. It is rated R, but it is very clean and very low key, and it's just funny and heartwarming, and yeah, it's really, really good.
I have to tell you something, babe. I've been dating this girl. She's white.
A white girl? Hey, you can't look like you and a white girl.
It's okay. We hate terrorists.
Baby Driver. Ooh! I really like Edgar Wright. I like car heists. There's just a certain style and it's just different enough that it stands out, and it's a lot of fun. And it's also kind of a musical, but it isn't, but it kind of is. But yeah, Baby Driver's a good time.
What is your name?
Baby.
Your name's Baby. B-A-B-Y, baby.
And this bit.
Oh, my favorite animated movie for sure. Maybe this might be my number 2, Coco. Instant classic, gives you the feels. That movie broke and mended my heart so many times the first time I saw it. It's magical, it's absolutely beautiful. It's fun for all the family, rated G or PG or something like that. And it has such a wonderful message about family, and it brings in just a beautiful tapestry of life in Mexico and some of their traditions and stuff. And it's just really, really great. So please go watch it and buy it and own it forever. It's really that good.
That's it! You gotta stay with me, boy. We don't know where we are.
Logan. Logan's also really, really good. The third Wolverine movie, third and maybe final, but probably final Logan movie. Again, a theme is that I just like how different it is from all the other superhero movies, and how different it is from all the Wolverine movies specifically and all the X-Men movies. It's just different. And it's also kind of apocalyptic, but not really, and I like apocalyptic stuff. Also, a very family-focused, and that I appreciate very much.
Logan, you still have time.
SpiderMan Homecoming, another good one. Spider-Man's my favorite superhero. Spider-Man 2 is still my favorite Spider-Man movie, and still my favorite superhero movie in general. Spider-Man Homecoming didn't overthrow Spider-Man 2, but I think it sits right at the same level for me personally. It's hilarious, it's fun, and it's Spider-Man. Like, what more do you want? But yeah, it's a good time. If Spider-Man is number 1, Batman is number 2. And Lego Batman was another favorite movie this year. Big surprise, made by the same guys as the Lego movie, but the Lego Batman movie, it's just a lot of fun. I laughed a lot, and the animation style is really cool, even though it's not actually like stop motion animation. It's CG, but it's made to look like it's stop motion, and it just looks so good. Legos are fun, Batman's fun. Mix the two together, you have a great movie right there.
It must be great to be Batman.
Thank you. I'm blushing super hard under the mask.
Oh, I also forgot about Justice League, so sorry, but that would be a favorite movie. I'm really looking forward to the 4K Blu-ray release, so that's definitely considered a favorite if I have to own it physically. But again, that's more because of Batman than anything else. So Batman's on this list too. Or Justice League is on this list as well, which, by the way, that's pretty freaking incredible to get 2 Batman movies in 1 year. Mind-blowing.
I'll take that as a yes.
What?
Warner Brothers presents Joss Whedon, Zack Snyder's Justice League, Part 1 of 1.
Beauty and the Beast was also pretty good. A beautiful movie. Of course, Beauty and the Beast, a super classic, and this live-action one I think is destined to be a classic as well. Beautiful costumes, great songs. The only part I didn't like about it was the very first song where Emma Watson sings. It kind of sounds auto-tuned to me. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, I don't know. But everything else is really good.
Hello. You can talk.
Well, of course he can talk.
Atomic Blonde was also a lot of fun. Charlize Theron is someone I'm a big fan of. So basically Atomic Blonde is like female James Bond, more or less. This one is rated R. There is some like language and partial nudity and stuff to watch out for, so keep that in mind. But yeah, it takes place Cold War-ish, around the time the Berlin Wall is coming down, and I liked it a lot. War of the Planet of the Apes, it was just really good. Animation is stunning. I don't know why that didn't win like animation or, you know, special effects of the year or whatever, but yeah. Really good. Andy Serkis was really good. Woody Harrelson was really good. And it's such another emphasis on family. Pretty original story, at least from my perspective. Again, it's a post-apocalyptic movie. What's not to love? And just crazy how none of those monkeys are real, but like, are you sure? Because they look, oh my gosh, it looks so good.
Your children will ask you,
What did you do in the greatest war? And you can tell them I fought.
Kong Skull Island. I like kaiju movies and Godzilla and stuff. And now that Godzilla and Kong is officially part of the Godzilla universe, and there's going to be more coming, this is a good time. A lot of Avengers made the jump over to Kong Skull Island. We got Nick Fury and Captain Marvel and Loki, and I think that's it. But maybe there's one other person. I don't know. I really liked the 70s Vietnam vibes and the time frame, and I also liked the world building, how they're very much in line with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, how they're slowly building this Godzilla, King Kong, Kaiju universe, and I'm really excited about that. It's got a good future.
I call them skull crawlers. Why? Because it sounds neat.
Okay.
Look, I just made that name up. I'm trying to scare you.
I'm fine calling them that. Are you cool with it?
Yeah, that seems like a
I
good.
like the name.
And that leaves us with, ladies and gentlemen, the #1 movie of the year. And again, the past movies, with the exception of Coco. Coco is number 2. No particular order, but this one is definitely #1, and that is Thor Ragnarok. It came out of nowhere, totally surprised me. Taika Waititi, the writer-director, is I am a fan of. His other work, Hunt the Wilder People, What We Do in the Shadows, are just too... Oh, he's just a funny dude, and he, of course, makes a cameo appearance, like he does in all of his movies, as the lovable, my favorite character of the year, Korg, the little rock alien dude. Yeah, Ragnarok was my favorite. Again, just like Logan, it was so different than the past Thor movies, and I like Thor as a character, but the Thor movies, I just, like, they're not bad, but, like, they're just boring. This one's also up there with my favorite Marvel movies, my favorite superhero movies of all time, with Spider-Man 2, SpiderMan Homecoming, Iron Man 3, Days of Future Past, The Incredibles, but I think just because of how, I don't know, just how surprising it was and how much fun I had. I think that's why it's my #1.
Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Korg. I'm kind of like the leader in here. I'm made of rocks, as you can see, but don't let that intimidate you. You don't need to be afraid unless you're made of scissors. Just a little rock, paper, scissors joke for you. This is my very good friend over here, Meek. He's an insect and has knives for hands.
Anyways, thanks for watching. What are some of your favorites of 2017? Let's discuss.